Hello, my name is Jane. Have you ever been to the seaside? Can you remember the first time you went? The way the water sparkled in the sunlight, the stiff breeze blowing in off the sea. Lots of us take it for granted now, but there was a time, about 130 years ago, when a visit to the seaside was a completely new thing and very fashionable and exciting and even scary. This is a story about some of the things I found out from the lovely people at Showtown. It's called Judy on the Beach. Judy tried very hard to sit still on her mistress Eliza's lap, but Judy was a dog, a Yorkshire Terrier, bred for ratting, and she was very wriggly. Her brothers and sisters were busy catching rats in Tobias Taylor's cotton mill, but his daughter Eliza had chosen Judy to be her pet and wear a red ribbon. Judy liked having her long hair combed and being fussed, but this strange journey on a train to Blackpool had so many interesting smells, she wanted to run around. "Judy, sit still," Eliza said. Eliza's papa disapproved of the name Judy. "She's not a ratter now," he said. "She should have a fancy name like Lenore or Dash. I like the name Dash. Queen Victoria had a dog called Dash." Judy was glad when the train finally stopped and Papa helped Mama and Eliza down onto the platform. There were so many interesting sniffs, but Eliza held Judy tightly in her arms until they were safely in the carriage that took them to the Grand Hotel on the seafront. Seeing the sea for the first time, Eliza was as excited as Judy. "May we bathe? Oh, please say we may bathe." "Eliza, only men bathe," her dad said. "Ladies, best dipped." "Very good for your health is dipping," said Tobias Taylor. The idea of going in the sea made Eliza's mother nervous. "Don't worry, mother," Eliza's dad said. "We'll put you in bathing machine. No one will see you." A bathing machine? Eliza's mother grew very alarmed, but Eliza knew all about bathing machines. "Mama, it's a covered wagon where you take off your clothes and put on a swimming dress and bloomers." Eliza's mother was shocked when her little girl said bloomers out loud and needed to sit down. Eliza quickly added that a bathing outfit would have plenty of ribbons and bows and a fancy cap to wear. That seemed to reassure her mama, but just to make sure, Tobias Taylor added that bathing machines turn the thing round so the steps are in the water for you to go down, and there'll be a woman, strong and sensible mind, to dip you safely in water. "Aye, but first we'll take a stroll along the promenade," he said. The promenade stretched right along the edge of the Golden Sands. Everyone was out and about, parading in their finest clothes, ladies with their bonnets and their bustles, gentlemen in their suits. Judy, with her long brown black doggy hair, thought it was hot enough without dressing up in all these layers of silk and lace. "Look, Mama, a photographer!" Eliza cried. "What's a photographer?" Judy wondered. "Can I eat it?" Further along the prom, people were pausing to smile at a man with a strange box on 3 legs. "Oh, very well," said Papa. "Yes, we'll have our photograph taken. But you have to act natural." "How do I look, Mother?" he asked, preening his moustache. Eliza fussed over Judy's bow. "Just act natural," she told her. When they reached the photographer, all 3 humans fixed grins on their faces and tried to act natural. For Judy, still in Eliza's arms, acting natural meant trying to have a sniff of this strange box on legs, but poof! The thing barked and spat light at her. Frightened, Judy jumped out of Eliza's arms and ran as fast as she could, dodging legs and walking canes straight under a lady's long skirt. "Woo!" screeched the lady, kicking up as the hairy little dog tickled her ankles. Judy tumbled out from under her skirt and ran under another skirt, and then another. "Eek! Oh! Well!" The cries of surprised ladies rippled all along the prom as Judy raced from skirt to skirt until there were no more skirts to hide under, and she found herself running on the beach. golden sand stretched in all directions. There was no sign of Eliza or her parents. Judy listened for her mistress calling her, but the sea breeze carried the sounds of the promenade away from her, and all she could hear were the happy shouts of people playing on the seaside. Children building sandcastles, riding donkeys, sailing little boats. The sand felt soft and warm between her toes. "Smell that sea air," somebody said. Judy sniffed. The air was fresh and salty, but then another smell wafted, something familiar. Flowers and soap. "That's my mistress," Judy thought. Judy followed the scent to one of the horse-drawn wagons on the beach. The wagon was covered so she couldn't see inside. Tiny little Judy scrambled onto the steps and barked and scratched at the door, but the door didn't open. Instead, the bathing machine began to move across the sand. Judy had to balance carefully as it trundled into the sea. The water got deeper and deeper, covering the steps until Judy was floating. Her long hair spread out all around her as she bobbed in the sea. The bathing machine kept moving, turning away and leaving the little dog behind. By the time Judy had swum to catch up, it had turned right round so the horse was facing the beach. But now the door was open and Judy could see Eliza in the water with a big strong woman, the Dipper. At least Judy thought it was Eliza. All she could see was a white mop cap as the Dipper held Eliza under the arms and swooshed her through the water. But she smelt right, and swooshing looked fun. Judy was so excited by this fun game that she barked and splashed her way to Eliza. Only it wasn't Eliza. "Ugh! What's that?" the lady squealed at Judy's hair floating closer. "Ugh! Jellyfish!" "Get away, bad dog!" scolded the Dipper. She let go of the lady in the mop cap to push Judy away. The lady immediately sank in the water. "Help! Help! I'm drowning!" she spluttered. "Save me!" "Put your feet down, madam. It's quite shallow," said her Dipper. The lady stood up to find the sea only came up to her waist. Meanwhile, poor Judy had been pushed onto a wave that carried her back towards the beach. She washed up on the sand, bedraggled like a piece of seaweed tied with a red ribbon. She shook herself dry and licked the sand from between her toes. Ugh! It made her thirsty, and she wanted something to take away the taste in her mouth. As she ran up the beach, Judy noticed that the wet sand began to dry out. This would be good for digging, she thought. Then she heard a bell ringing on the breeze and smelt something. Something sweet and cold, and Judy ran, following her nose. Whatever it was, it smelt delicious, she was sure. It was. The man was selling ice cream from a special cart. "Penny licks!" he cried, and men, women and children began to queue in front of his cart. Each one handed over a copper penny to be given a little glass cone full of scrumptious, mouth-cooling ice cream. When they finished eating, they gave their glass cones back to the ice cream man. He promptly filled them up again to give to the next customer. What a treat! Judy sat looking as pretty as possible. But nobody gave her any. She couldn't understand it. Eliza always rewarded her with treats when she looked pretty at her. But then she noticed one of the customers had left a glass cone on the ground. She slipped over and began licking out the leftovers. It was so good, her eyes began to glaze with happiness. But a rough voice shouted, "Get out!" and the ice cream man snatched the glass cone away. "Dirty dog," he snarled as he took the cone and filled it with ice cream for his next customer. Judy didn't mind. She saw a mother carrying her toddler so roughly the ice cream fell out of his cone completely. The child cried, but his mum paid no attention, and he watched helplessly as the little dog snaffled what should have been his treat. Her tummy now full, Judy didn't feel nearly as frightened. In fact, she realised she liked this strange seaside world, and she began to play, digging and rolling on her back. She only stopped when she heard someone laughing. It was the toddler. There was no sign of his mother, but he was only interested in playing with Judy. He giggled as she snuffled in the sunshine and tried to catch her. Judy wagged her tail as he came closer. But then joy, oh joy, she heard her name. "Judy, Judy, Judy!" It had to be her mistress. Judy looked to find her and began to run. Laughing, the toddler ran after her. It was not one voice calling Judy, but many. Boys and girls and grown-ups too. Judy! 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 With her new friend following, the little dog ran towards the crowd of people shouting, but as she approached, she was surprised that they weren't looking at her. In fact, they hardly noticed her. Instead, they were all looking at a tall, narrow canvas booth erected on the sand. It was red and gold striped, with an opening at the top like a little small theatre, with bright red curtains. A little wooden man with a big nose, very strange voice, and holding a big stick was shouting at the people watching.
"That's the way to do it. Tell Mr. Punch, where's Judy, boys and girls? And where's my sausages?"
The crowd again all shouted, "Judy! Judy! Judy! I'm here!" Judy ran to the foot of the booth and barked up at the little wooden man. But the little man, Mr. Punch, paid no attention. "I'm here!" Judy barked again. Seeing no way to climb up to him, she began digging the soft sand to get underneath the red and gold tent flap. The sounds that then came from inside the Punch and Judy show were very puzzling for the audience. Mr. Punch was waving his big stick about, shouting,
"No, no, no,"
in his funny voice, then "No, no, no," in a female voice, and then in his own again,
"No,"
and then he cried,
"That is not the way to do it."
and the crowd gasped as a little wet dog leapt out from the Punch and Judy booth, carrying a string of sausages. The audience thought it was hilarious, but the noise of them laughing and cheering frightened Judy, and she ran between their feet trying to escape, sausages trailing behind her. The people were all so big. What if someone trod on her? What if they trod on her sausages? Then the toddler scooped her up into his arms, but then he too was scooped up into somebody's arms. His mother. Judy wriggled as the toddler's mother smothered him in kisses. "Mwah, mwah, 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 mwah. Ugh! Albert, what's that?" The toddler's mother nearly dropped him when she touched Judy's tangled hair. Judy jumped down and the woman was about to shoo her away, but the toddler, Albert, said,
"Albert's doggy."
Albert's mother wrinkled her nose at the scruffy Yorkshire Terrier. Looking like a rat, smelling of wet dog and ice cream, she really didn't want to take Albert's doggy home. But Albert pulled his cutest face, the one his mother could never resist. She was about to say yes, but Judy heard her name again, and this time she knew the voice. Eliza. "There you are, Judy," Eliza cried. "Papa, I said she would come to the Punch and Judy show when she heard her name. What a clever little dog." "She's a mucky little dog," Tobias Taylor sniffed. It was true. Judy's hair was sticky with sea salt and ice cream, and it would take Eliza a long time to comb out all the tangles. Even so, she said, "I'm so glad I didn't call her Dash." "Humph," said her father. But then Albert's mother introduced herself and told them how they had lost Albert on the beach. "We have all been looking all over for our son, but Judy found him and brought him here, and I think she deserves a penny lick." "I think we all do," Tobias Taylor said. Then he smiled and watched as the way the water sparkled in the sunlight and felt the stiff breeze blowing in off the sea. And Judy not only had her very own penny lick, she licked all the glass cones completely clean, ready for the next customers. The end.